Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Larissa Lopes and watching things I wish I'd learned in school. Today's episode is one of the most important to me. That is how to be yourself. People love to give this advice to us. Like, are you nervous about something? Just be you, just be yourself. But nobody actually teaches us how to access this identity, how to express it, how to defend it. I have suffered with this problem for a long, long time. I felt invisible. I felt like I had something in me that people weren't seeing. I knew it was there. I knew I wasn't what people thought of me. I knew that I was more than what I could show them, but I didn't know how to access it. I didn't know how to express it, and I felt like it was my fault. Like I was shy, I didn't have enough confidence, and that was a problem, a personal problem. I didn't realize this is something very, very common, and that's a lot of people who don't even ever find their true identity. So, to help you with that, to help you access your true identity and start expressing and show yourself to the world, the first thing I need to tell you today is that it takes practice being yourself. Like anything in life, we are not born how knowing how to express ourselves. We don't even know how to speak. This is part of the human development, to learn how to speak, learn how to express yourself, and learn how to be yourself in front of other people. Learning how to show people what you're thinking, who you are inside. Is actually pretty hard to be yourself in front of other people and to show yourself to other people, because you're risking being judged, especially in our culture that we are kind of programmed to please other people. It takes a lot of courage to be yourself and to risk being seen and heard and expose this true identity. And courage is a skill that we develop only with practice. The more you practice something, the more confident you're gonna be doing that in front of other people. Is like this with anything. If you're a musician, if you're an athlete, anything, you have to practice. You have to put hours and hours of training, and before you feel confident enough to show that, to perform that in front of other people. And it's exactly the same with being yourselves. But how do we actually practice being ourselves, right? It's not just leaving. It's not just going to school or going to work or doing your normal stuff. You have to put some effort into it. And my first advice to you here is to identify your talents. Everybody has talents. You can't tell me you're bad at everything, because even that would be a talent. But you have to find out what are your areas of interest, your areas where you are above average, the things that you do effortlessly, the things you actually feel comfortable doing. And it doesn't have to be only one thing. It can be a lot of things. We can have multiple talents. But once you identify that, once you realize, like, okay, I'm not very extrovert, but I'm very observant and I can express what I observe through writing, for example. That's kind of what I do. Like, we all have our own way to communicate and to show ourselves to the world. It doesn't have to be the same way for everybody. It would be very sad if we all had the same talents, and if we were only able to communicate in one way. So once you identify your talents and your strengths, you have to actively practice them in every single opportunity you have. I'm gonna give you an example. If you are creative and you have this you like to make things differently, or you add a little touch, a little personal touch to the things you do, try to do that in every little opportunity you get. For example, in school, try to apply this to your projects. Try to be a little more creative, try to force it, try to develop it by practicing it, literally practicing it. Every single opportunity you have, express this talent and use it. Actually use it in your daily basis. And the more you use it, first, the better you're gonna get at it. And second, the more people will recognize you for that. Like, people are gonna look at you and see that you are creative. And I know it's very hard to put effort in things that we are not into doing, like projects at school, for example. I know we do a lot of things because we are forced to do, but this is a great opportunity for you not to waste your time completely. If you take that project that you hate and you see it, you start seeing it as an opportunity to show yourself, to practice being yourself, it's not gonna be so boring anymore, it's gonna be a little bit easier for you to do it. The second thing I have to tell you about learning how to be yourself is that you have to start bringing your A game. You have to start showing people 100% of yourself. Again, our culture has this habit of always holding back a little, because we fear people are gonna to ask for more and you can't give any more, or just because you're not that interested or you're lazy. There's a lot of reasons, but I know that this is a very, very serious problem that we are facing right now. People never get to express 100% of themselves, and the moment they need it, the moment they actually, for example, in a job interview that you have like 5 minutes to convince the person in front of you that you are all of those things you have in your curriculum, they can't express themselves because they are not used to doing. How do you expect to be able to show someone 100% of your potential in 5 minutes if you don't do it throughout the day? If you never do it, actually, if you never show people 100% of yourself. So after you find those things that define you, I want you to start being 100% of yourself in those areas, in everything you do. Even if you don't like the projects, even if you think it's a waste of time, it's not a waste of time because you are gaining experience. The more you practice being 100% of yourself, the more confident you're gonna be being 100% of yourself. And when the opportunity comes, for example, when you are in a 5-minute job interview, or when you are at a bar meeting someone and you want that to convince that person that they should date you, that's your opportunity. You gotta be ready for that. You have to be comfortable doing it, and the only way to be comfortable doing it is if you do it every day. If you don't do this every day, if you don't have enough hours of practice, you're not gonna be able to show 100% of your potential when the opportunity comes. Another very important thing that I have to tell you is that you should stop trying to work on your flaws. I think one of the worst things that school does to our brains is to program us to develop, to invest our time developing the things we are not very good at. I think that's actually very sad because we are encouraging people to be average. If you take your time and invest it in trying to compensate in something that you're not very good at, the things that you are good at and that you could be developing it won't get enough attention, and in the end you're gonna be just average. But if you take your time and forget the things, I know in school you can actually forget, okay, I'm talking about life here, but if you take those things, that if you let go of those things you're not so good at, and you take this time developing the things you're actually already good at, you can get from a 7 to a 10. Here you can only get, I don't know, if you're 4, you can only get, if you put a lot of effort, just 6, just 7, you know. But this thing that you're already a 7, a natural 7, you can get to 10. And people pay money to see 10 perform something, you know. People don't pay money to see a 6 perform something. It's like this in arts, it's like this in sports, it's like this in business, you know. You have to find your talent and invest everything in it, because your only chance to get very successful and to be noticed is to develop the things that you are passionate about and that it comes natural to you. So don't try to correct all of your flaws. You're only gonna be average. Instead, develop your own talent and practice that in every single opportunity you have. The fourth thing I have to tell you today is to stand up for yourself. When you have something that is important to you, when you have, I don't know, some place you want to go, something you want to do, I don't know, something you want to buy, anything. If it's important to you, you have to let the people around you know that that thing is important to you. I'm telling you this because it's very, very easy to be not manipulated, but if you don't say what you want, other people are gonna tell you what they want, and you're gonna end up doing what they want instead of what you want. I think one of the biggest problems of trying to be yourself is this need to please other people and to compare ourselves to other people and to, you know, try to be something that we are not. Have the courage to stand up for yourself and tell people what's important to you. You know, learn how to set boundaries. If you never set boundaries, if you do whatever people ask you to do just to please them, of course they are not gonna see you for who you are. You have to show them, you have to tell them, this is important to me and I need you to respect that. You know, setting boundaries is very, very, very important. If they love you, if they are real friends, if they really care about you, they are gonna be happy to do what you want, because this is gonna make you happy. And if they don't, I'm sorry, but you can't please everyone. You know, that's another a lesson for another day. But we all know that is impossible to please everyone. So it's better to stay true to yourself than to surrender to what other people want you to do. The more you are yourself, the more you defend yourself, the more you practice being yourself, the stronger you're gonna get, the more confident you're gonna feel being yourself. And that's how thing works. That's how we get better and better at it, and more people will see you for what you really are. I love this Oprah quote that says that what we want, what we all want, is to fulfill this desire to shout, to scream, and to show the world this highest, truest expression of ourselves. And that's why I'm making this video. I do think this is a topic that should be taught in schools, because people suffer their whole lives, you know, without an identity, without having the courage to say what's on their minds. And it's just a waste of talent, you know. I think if you can't be yourself, you can't express what you have, what the talent you have, the all the good things you have to offer to the world. And this is one of the reasons people are so unhappy and depressed today, because they don't even know how to express themselves. You can imagine being the highest expression of themselves, you know. So that's something to work on. We're gonna keep talking about this throughout this series, but that's a start. That's something for you to start. Practice being yourself in every single opportunity you have, you know. Express your talents, tell people what is important to you, leave a little bit of yourself in every project that you do, in every conversation that you have, in every relationship. people should be able to recognize your talents, recognize your strengths without you telling them. They should be able to see it. And you're gonna be surprised how their reaction is gonna be. You know, everybody's gonna start seeing you for your true potential, for your true identity. And that's one of the best feelings in the world, when you realize that you are not invisible anymore, that the world actually sees you for who you are. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you start being 100% of yourself in every opportunity you got. I hope you start showing the world who you really are. And I hope to see you next week. I post new videos on Friday, and this is just the beginning. If you have a suggestion, please leave it in the comments, and I'll do my best to share with you all the things I wish I learned in school. See you next week.